ever for any reason, and we'll go through and show you. We have 8 years worth of classes archived. This is not by any means a flipped classroom. I don't think we're even doing it yet, right? But if for any reason you missed class, for any reason, it's up there. If you want to see an example gone over again, you can go through and find it there. And like I said, there's over 8 years worth of stuff. If there's anything you want to see or see from another section, you've got to go through and do that. And I guess the only other thing to make sure we understand, and again, it comes from that first part about the grade, worshiping and groveling. We don't grade soft skills, like perseverance, like effort. We used to have an effort grade, we don't do it. Now, that's good or it's bad. And it's actually bad for people to get you ready for college, but it's very good because by and large, you guys, as a high school group, tend to be a little bit, not you all, but high schools in general, tend to be a little scatterbrained, etc., because you're used to having a day-to-day routine. When you go on, if you work hard at everything you do, you'll do amazing in college. It's the people who never pick up a book and got through Schrader with like an 85 average, those are the people that will run into college like a brick wall. I guarantee not successful. I teach over at NAS, U of R, Fisher, and RIT. I've seen it 100 times over. There'll be super smart kids coming through and they never picked up a pencil at high school. And I'll give them for Calc 1. And they'll come in and they'll think that they know everything. And they'll sit there, they won't pick up a pencil in class. They'll stare. Then the first test comes and they get like a 50. And meanwhile, the kids who tend to do the best aren't even high schoolers. It's the adults that go there. Why? Think about your parents for a minute. Would your parents probably do homework if they were in the class and got it? Yes or no? You think so? Most of them do. Every parent that I have goes, I yell at my kids to make sure they do their homework, and I do it with them. They get it done. If you go through and do the work, you'll be successful at whatever you do. But it's not part of your grade for here. We need to be as good mathematicians as we can be. From what we saw in those, we'll put it, well, who was disappointed in the Geo Roots? No? You can own it. This isn't a judgment. Kind of? Okay. At least it's better a little bit than last year. I'll tell you right now, I will train you as hard as, we will cover Algebra 2, and I will train you as hard as we can. No offense, but I will train us like dogs to go through and get the highest score possible on that exam. You are my soldiers. We are going to war sometime between June 12th and June 19th, and we are going to war against the kids across the street. And last year, after soundly defeating them in, what is this, 18, in 16, 17, we beat them by 3 points. We lost to them last year by a 10th of a point. 10th. Does that make sense? We got to slaughter them. It shouldn't even be close. And I will do everything humanly possible to make sure you get the highest score possible, including showing you every bit of algebra. I will show you every gimmick that this calculator does. I will show you everything possible to get that score as high as it possibly can be. And just so you know, I think last year, I'll put the numbers when we get to our statistics unit, but I think we had a third of the kids scored a 93, or sorry, 91 or above. A third were at 91 or above, and I think our lowest grade was 79. Every one of you can do exceptional work if you put the time in this year. I don't even care, by the way, what your geo grade was. We care, it's actually more closely correlates to Algebra 1, but we've got to put the work. And don't give up on us. We won't give up on you. I think pretty much that's it. We told you before, get those stupid computers out. So have them out. We got to have you do all the rigmarole garbage now. First thing up we need you to do is sign up for Classroom. You guys are Section 3. So here's your code down here. It's RDCI65. Go in and type that in. Go into Classroom, etc. I'm pretty sure you guys have that for every class now. Is that about right? Okay. So when you go in and log in, you'll see, I think there's like 5 or 6 things posted. Is that right? Google Classroom.
don't even mind. I'll tell you, in all honesty, I don't mind if you go through and look out when it rains. The one that always makes me laugh is when it gets windy and then people look outside. What is wind again? It's air, okay? It's moving slightly faster than it was before, but you still can't see it. It's just air. At least with the rain, you can see it. Now, looks like we got 19 of you signed up. If, for some reason, you miss class, who knows why? In all honesty, I don't care why. Guess where you would go to see what we did for the day. It's waiting for you there. Now, I will say, here's a copy of the expectation sheet. You guys, I think it might have even been yesterday. Did they do that whole log into the portal garbage with you and reset your codes? First period yesterday? Yes? Yeah. Okay. So that was what one of these is. Now, one other thing that needs to happen, we've actually signed up for classroom. Did your teachers let you use Remind? Yes, no? Okay, so who knows what it is? Who's here had someone that used Remind? Okay. Oh, okay. I'll use it to send out links. I use it 1,000 times more than I use Classroom. I think it's a much better interface and it reaches you a little bit quicker. But if we have answer keys to homeworks, some days I'll send you out a link there and you'll see it'll say a little. They always reformat the links unless you use Bitly to customize and to truncate. So you'll see some little remind link on there. You'll click on it, it might be a PDF of the answers to the homework. It might be, just to let you know that there's something coming up. But we do need to have you guys sign up. Now, there's 3 ways that you can do it. There's an app that you can go through and download on your phone. Who has the app on their phone? Okay, so if that's the case, I think you can just type the code in to the app. Is that how it works? Okay. So if you got that and that's how you want to do it, great. There's another way if you want to sign up by text message. You go in and text 81010. That's the number you send it to. And the message that you would send is at MACENR3, so for Mac and Rich 3. And that's how you do it by a text message. Or if you want to sign up using an email, you click on the instructions. It's whatever this third one is. I don't care how you sign up for it, but invariably during the year we'll have 1 or 2 kids who aren't signed up and they won't get like an answer key or something and then they'll complain about it. This is how you do it. So if you want to sign up just by generic email, go through and do it at the link at the bottom. You can sign up by text message without getting the app. And the other one prompts you to download the app, or you can just add our code into it. So go through and get that done. I'm trying to think of what else we have. We've got another thing too to sign up for, but I'm going to actually table that for a little bit. A big portion of like longer term assignments that we do are going to be through MathXL, and I don't think your teachers had that last year. Did your teachers have a MathXL? Okay. So we'll go through what it is. Raise your hand if you had a Castle Learning. So, okay, I think that they use it for like science or something. It's similar, but one of the things that for some reason Castle Learning either doesn't care about or doesn't know about, you guys have these phones that take pictures of what the questions are along with what the answers are. And at one point, I want to say it was in 2016, we found this one that had 64 people in it, and it was just sending screenshots of what I think it was for a science class. It's the science use Castle Learning? Okay, so it's for a science, like a Castle Learning, maybe chemistry. Like 68 people in it, hundreds of pictures, the whole year's worth of it. Everyone was getting all the questions right. It doesn't even shuffle the answer choices. Maybe it does, but it showed which one was the right one. The MathXL program is an online thing to do your homework, but it gives you like an actual textbook. It's what we give out at college, and it's the questions that you get are different, and they're free. Some of them, actually I think most of them, are free response questions. So if you're in a group chat with Bob, and Bob's answer to number 1 is 5, and you log in, and your first question is multiple choice, there's a reason. We get a report if you start answering the same answers as someone else. So this happened the first year it was done. I didn't tell the kids that they shuffle the questions and change the numbers on them. So the first night I was doing it was due on a Sunday night. and I got this ping, and it woke me up like 10:30 at night. It was an email from Pearson, the company that runs it, to let me know I had a student in the class. Let's just say his name was Greg. And Greg went through and answered all his questions. And let's say the first 5 answers for Greg's Math XL assignment were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, Bob logged in, and for some reason, Bob also answered the first questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Except Bob had a completely different test than Greg. So I got an alert on the phone that said, hey, these 2 kids' tests are matching, and by the way, they've got different forms, and by the way, the likelihood of that happening is about 1 in 46,000. So, were Bob and Greg cheating? And guess what Bob got? Guess what Greg got? Yes. And why, if you're Greg, by the way, and you answer 1 through 5, would you be so catastrophically dumb as to give your answers to someone else? Imagine robbing a bank and the bank robber looking at you going, all right, I just did this for the thrill. Here's all the money. I'm walking away. Would that happen? No. It kind of defeats the whole purpose. Okay? When you're doing it, trust me, do the work and fail on your own. You may fail, but I'll respect you. The cheating thing makes me not respect people. So go through, just be honest. And by the way, don't wait till midnight to do things like Bob did. I always get the reports to it like 11:58. This student was logged off because it ends at midnight. And then I'll get a panicked email. I couldn't log in. And I'm like, well, actually, you were logged in. I can see. It shows me the times you logged in, etc. So it's pretty good. And by the way, it also gives you step-by-step instructions on how to answer all of the questions. Like, it's hard to not do well on these. One thing also, I think we said no test corrections. We said that already. Just so you know, those Math XL, your online assignments, take the place of test corrections. They're supposed to be profoundly easy grades. They'll take a little bit of time, but they're not designed to, they're not enriched level questions. Okay, and I don't give you 800 of them of the same type. Trying to think what else we have to sign up. We'll do Math XL. You guys got portal instructions in your other class, so we're good there. This is one thing also that kind of stinks about having you guys. We're auditioning a new teacher, or 3 of them, but we need to have them come in and teach a sample lesson to see how they are in front of kids, make sure they're not some monster that throws things. The problem that we have is we needed a group that would be sort of okay and probably a little bit respectful and hopefully able to offer a little bit of insight as to what they actually saw, whether it was good or bad or not. And so Ms. Jockman and I are lead teachers for the Schrader Math Department, and we got chosen to be the people. So unfortunately, next time we meet, most likely is going to be in here. I don't think it will be somewhere else. You're going to hopefully same seats, everything. It's going to be somebody else. They're going to come in. They have to do a sample lesson. It's pretty much a job audition that they're doing in front of you. So put it this way. Are you going to be a jerk this way? Especially at someone's job. Be nice to the person when they come in, help them out a little bit. There's going to be like probably myself, Ms. Jockman. Did we have Mr. Leader last year? Mr. Leader will be here. Did all of you have Mr. Leader? Oh, okay. Right? Now, they'll come in. They just need to see the person do it. It's not going to take a full period, maybe 20 minutes. The rest of the time will still be ours. We'll go over. I think we'll do the Math XL the second half of tomorrow. But that's what you'll have next time we meet. So just don't be a jerk for that person, I guess. And don't be a jerk in general. That's it for our expectation sheets. If you have to go potty, congrats. We don't all need to know. So if you do have any sort of laboratory needs, you don't need to announce it, nor do you need to ask. Look over to the side, see the giant pass that says, sorry, I can't talk, I'm on an urgent bathroom mission. You take that, and just so we're clear, I always get perplexed when people hang a left after saying they need to go to the bathroom. is where are the bathrooms again? So just head over, you do your business, you come back, and you don't need to make a scene. We don't, you know, but thanks if you wanted to tell us. I think that's, oh, another thing that happens, it had to deal with the phones again. When you have tests or quizzes in here, I'll rewind this board. When you come in, you're just going to set your phone up here. Please turn it all the way off. If you put it on vibrate, it hums up against the metal ledge for the entire period. Some of you apparently are quite popular or get a notification about every 10th of a second, and the whole thing shakes the whole time. When we take a test or quiz, we'll let you know, and you can just leave it up off. It's a good one. Also, trying to think of what else. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yes. My name is Mr. Mack. So that's all I've got for now, at least for expectation. So you can take that computer and throw it out the window if you want, or just underneath your desk. And let's have you do this. There's a sheet on there that you picked up that said all about me. That is part of your homework for tonight. The other thing that we need to have you go through and do, take out your, we need you guys to get to your foldable, wait, there you go, okay, one person. So go, didn't do calculators yet. First row, slide over right now, please, grab a calculator. And you can do this every day when you come in. By the way, when you get them, you'll notice, I don't think Leader had a navigator system. But those hoods that are on the top, don't disconnect them. And by the way, also don't color on the calculators. For some reason, that's the same like people with outline and like a name or around them. Don't do that also. Second row, head over and grab one. You 2 rows can head over. Now, once you get it, this part I'm guessing is going to be new for you. Did you all log into the calculators previously or no? No? Okay. So we'll go over how that gets done. When you get to your seat, go in and press. Get to the home screen, so turn it on, and then go through, please, and press 5 twice. So you go in and hit menu 5. It comes up with a screen for you to log in. Your username is the first letter of your first name and your last name. Your password is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. You probably just maybe even got a message that said class ended. You can just hit enter on that. Your password is 1, 2, 3, 4. If your name's Bob Smith, it goes in as B. Smith. The other thing that you all need to make sure you know is as you're doing this, maybe you want to write down your password and username. No one's going to try to log in as you. No one's going to try to steal it. Just make sure you remember it's 5. And your password's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, does anybody have it say log in and then that's grayed out? Raise your hand if that's you. Okay, so on some of them it does that. In all honesty, here's my advice. If that happens, you can either try to figure out how to use the network list and see if my name shows up, or if you turn the calculator over, and this goes for all of you, if you turn it over, there's a little button on there that says reset. All it does is reset the calculator, not your life. So you don't be afraid to do it. It just makes it so if the calculator, sometimes the screen won't let you log in. You press the reset button, and it probably will after you do that. Okay? But go in and watch. If you did that right now, I'll probably be able to tell because you won't be logged in. So, as you're going through and doing them now. Oh, you are? Oh. Yeah. If we, by the way, if we don't go through and get the login the first couple days, that's fine. Just ask me. The reason, by the way, that we do it is this. So right now, I don't know what your teachers did before, but did they sit up here and peck at that calculator screen to show you like what to hit, or did they use your calculator? They just kept, yeah. So I don't want to ruin it. I've got other things to do. So right now, you can start poking around in here, but this is someone's calculator. And I can assure you, I will find when someone's not paying attention and make them be our calculator queen for the day. You can go in, this is someone's screen. If you go in, you can hit 1 and get yourself a new document. Maybe you can see if this is yours or not. Let's see how long it takes to figure out who thinks it's not. No one yet? No one realizes who it is? All right. Then add a calculator on it. Who thinks it's done? Oh, it's you? Congrats. Let's see. Now let's see if you're right, because this is the other end of it. Are you? Is it Raina?
Yeah.
See? Not bad. Now watch this. We can get another one. And sometimes if everyone's not paying attention, or I want to make sure everyone's paying attention, I'll just do that. And that's what all your screens look like right now. Every single one of them. Okay? So we can tell when people aren't going through and graphing the things that we're supposed to graph. And sometimes, don't get confused, sometimes some of you will say, wait a minute, mine doesn't look like that. So instead of sitting there and going, my God, you are a catastrophic failure at calculator-based life events, you might just throw your calculator up on the screen and say, does anybody see what's going wrong? You're like, oh, that's supposed to be x squared, not just an x. And you might get an answer. Like, we help each other when we're going through and doing it. The calculators do a ton of stuff. I'm not expecting you to be a pro on it. The only thing I do expect you to do, though, is make sure that you go through and you stay with us when we're in class. So this is all you, or at least close to all of you. I'm trying to think of the last things we've got to do. We went over for tomorrow also. Yeah. So the last thing that we'll go over, and this is really your first Algebra 2 thing, slide over, please, to your factoring sheet that you got when you came in. Now, you're going to go to the side. And, oh, by the way, some of you didn't get one. I realized someone over here took like the last of the last. If you don't have one, come on over and get one. I just ran and made some more copies. If you need them, I think I ran about 10. Take a look at that first example at the top. On that example, you're going to want to go through and factor those two that are on the right. If you want some practice ones, you can look to the left. So, take a look at example 1. Who can tell me that one on the top, right there, what would that factor down to? Or how can I break down 16a squared minus 12a. What type of factoring could I go through and do on that, or how could I rewrite that down and break it up? Someone who did freshman math. Your job's to factor it or to rewrite it out. You're looking for the different ways to factor. Maybe if you turn the sheet over, you'll find hundreds on this. How can I break down 16a squared minus 12?
Oh, 4a and then in parentheses 4a minus 3.
There you go. There's a common term in both of them. I can go in and factor out a 4a or undistribute out a 4a from both. And when I do that, I'm left with, now in math, after middle school, when you want to go through and say the parentheses, you say the quantity of. So this is 4a times the quantity of 4a minus 3. How about for the next one? Look at the one right underneath it, and hands up, please, if you can tell me. I think that one would factor down into, take something out from all three terms. There is a GCF available to us if we can see it. Looks like we've got one. See if we can get 5 of us who can identify what our GCF is. I don't need what the full factorization is. Just what's the greatest common factor for those three terms. We've got one person. 2 of us, thank you. 3, thank you. 4. What do you want to say? Now, I'm going to undistribute that GCF of 3n squared from each term. Hands up, please, if you can tell me what's left after you undistribute a 3n squared from that trinomial, or you divide out a 3n squared from that trinomial, what three terms would I be left with in my parentheses? We got 1, 2 of us, 3, thank you, 4, nothing.
4n cubed minus 6n.
Now, in all honesty, you got the toughest part right, and it's the part most people will overlook. Everybody see something you're tempted to leave off of there?
Probably the last three on the squares because it's something that's.
Yeah, it's this over here. You need to remember when you distribute that out again, that's going to give you, or should give you, a trinomial again. If you don't put that 1 there as a placeholder, you're going to get a binomial or 2 terms. We have questions on those 2 for GCF. All right. Next one up, I hope these 2 are. I think that we can manage these 2. We'll start off, if you need a refresher, that's what the left side is for. I need the 2 quantities, or expressions in parentheses, that we're going to break x squared minus 9x plus 18 down into. Same factor from freshman out. We haven't changed anything. What's x squared minus 9x plus 18? We'll wait for 6 of us. We got 1, thank you, 2, 3, 4, 5. We went there.
Intensity is x minus 6,
Hmm?
and then intensity is x minus 2.
Perfect. Now, does it matter if you put the x minus 3 first? No. And by the way, how did we know that was going to be negative 6 and negative 3? You need numbers that multiply to positive 18 but add to negative 9. You multiply to the end and add to the middle. Now, the next one's going to be maybe a little bit tougher. This is maybe an Algebra 2 light question. What about x to the 4th plus 7x squared plus 12? Take a guess. This is the part, the one thing I do get frustrated is when we're not comfortable taking the guess. It's okay to be wrong. We're going to be wrong a lot. It's kind of concerning if you're never wrong. We got 2 people who can tell us. Follow that pattern out. What do you want to say?
X squared plus 4, and then x squared plus 3.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. The only difference in this case was we needed an x to the 4th in the beginning. How did we get the x to the 4th here? Where did it have to come from then? X squared's there. The only difference is this was 2 and 1, this is 4 and 2. Now, I'm actually going to tell you this. You can skip the next one. Go down to example 4. 9a squared minus 16. Hands up, please, when you can tell us what you think that would factor down to. Look to the left if you need it. I hope this was one that they drilled into you in Algebra 1. If not, though, we'll get it now, because it shows up all the time. We got 1, thank you. 2, thank you. See if we can get 5. What do we think 9a squared minus 16 would factor to? Look to the side if you need it. We're at 2 of us. 3, thank you. What would you like to say?
3 minus 1 3.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. What did you do to get that? Why did you know it was 3a plus 4, 3 minus 1? Perfect. 9 is a perfect square. A squared is a perfect square. 16 is a perfect square. Now this next one is an Algebra 2 level, because we're going to make a very some of us might make a very casual mistake on it. Give 25 minus x squared a try. See if we can get 5 of us who've got a guess as to what that one's going to be. Let's try 25 minus x squared. What do we think that would be, based off of the patterns you see to the left? We got no takers. 1, 2, good. It's okay to be wrong. As far as I know, most of your parents should still love you the same amount, even if you get one wrong. 4, what's that?
I said 5 plus x and 5 minus.
What mistake do you think a lot of people would make? Who can tell me?
Is that right?
What mistake do you think? Because it's against your, I'll put it to you this way. They train you like a dog to do this. This is a perfect example as to why. Why are so many of us going to get this wrong? You're going to be so inclined to put the X first because whoever you had before, they love putting the X first. They can't fathom examples that don't happen. You can do it without. Doesn't matter at all. The last bit that is Algebra 2 level factoring, well, I don't think we'll get to the cubes one today, is a factor by grouping. I'm not sure if you have covered this before. This is the only one, though, we're going to start off looking at what's on the left. For this example, we're trying to factor this polynomial. Well, it's technically not a polynomial. Well, actually, is there only one y? No. That is somewhat of a, no. You're looking at factor that expression, not a polynomial. As you're going through and looking to factor that, the first thing I would look for is a GCF. This is our greatest common factor for those 4 terms. Yes or no? No. Can you put any of them together? Can you? There's like terms up there? No? So I'm stuck, and I got 4 terms. I can't put them together anymore. So does the entire expression have a GCF? And hopefully you're going to say no. What I'd like us to see is this. Just because it doesn't have one GCF doesn't mean it doesn't have any. It's possible for this, where you can't even see one GCF, for us to have 3. As I go through, look just at the first 2 terms and then the second 2. So don't look at everything. Split it up. Look at the first 2 terms. Is there a GCF for those? Hands up, please, if you can tell me what the GCF is for the first 2 terms. We got 1, 2 of us. Yep. Y, and what's left when you take that y out? X plus 2. What about the second 2 terms? 3, and what's left then? So now, we didn't take a GCF for everything. By the way, how many times have you taken a GCF so far? Twice. There's a third GCF now in the bigger, awkward binomial that's there. A binomial can have binomials in it. By the way, a binomial is 2 terms linked with adding and subtraction. They didn't teach you it. Is there a GCF for everything now? There you go. And by the way, you can tell me what's left when you take the x plus 2 out. What are you left with then if you divide out an x plus 2? Y plus 3. That's it. The thing that irritates me to no end is there are some teachers in the district who say this is called, they'll say it's magic factoring. This isn't Harry Potter. There's no magic. You're a competent adult. We don't need limericks to remember things. You took a greatest common factor. How many times did you do it? How many? If you can do that, congrats. I can at least get you through college algebra at MCC and U of R. You'll be fine. Now let's try it out on the one on the right. Is there a GCF for all 4 of those terms?
No.
Are there any, by the way, first thing to look for, are there any terms I can put together? Are there? No. What can I take now? Can I group the first 2 and second 2? Well, let's see what we got. Can I take a GCF from the first 2? Yes or no? What is it? 2x squared. What's left after I take out that GCF? Hands up if you can tell me what's left when I undistribute that 2x squared. Go ahead. Thank you. What now? Keep in mind the whole goal of what we're doing. Look at the green. There's a GCF there. You could pick one of 2 GCFs. What are the 2 possible GCFs that you could take out from the green? There's 2 possibilities. Tell me what they are. -1 and +1. Now comes the point where you show me you're enriched. Which one does it make sense to take out? Which one's the better and why? Hands up, please. Do I want to take a -1 or a +1 out?
Couple announcements.
Why?
The athletic department wants you to know that all after-school outdoor practices are canceled because of the heat. Any
Stop.
changes to your practice
90
schedule after
7,000
6,
degrees.
please contact your
Actually, you know
coach.
what? It was 93 when we started class. That's what the temperature is right now.
Outdoor practices outside are canceled.
73
Indoors
degrees.
as usual.
75 as of
This
now.
evening.
Now,
Please contact your
why did we take that?
time, location,
Because
or if they're
you
changing.
get a GCF again. What's our third GCF, guys? And it leaves us with?
Have a good evening, Warriors.
Now, before we go, I'll tell you this. You're all about me. Finish up for your homework. I'm going to show you this before you throw this away. Ready? You're going to do this. See how in the front it has all these factorings? I'm sorry, I ran a little late. It'll take 2 seconds. You're going to fold. No folding yet. Fold it. Not down the middle, but on this line. When you fold it on that line, see how you can see it says factoring? And now, you can do this when you get home, or we'll do it as a class when you get. Yeah, see how it looks like this now? And now, next time we have class, we're going to cut on each of these so it's a little tab. So when you want to see an example of a GCF, you want to see an example of grouping, it's going to help us out. We'll get to more of it later. I'm sorry we wasted so much time with that computer garbage, whatever. Know how to do those factorings, though. Take a good look at it.
Is this homework?
Your only homework is to finish the All About Me. Make sure you know how to do the first 2 or 3 factorings on there. You need to know GCF and the fast factoring ones that we did before. No, don't need to finish that. You don't need to log out of the calculator to do that. So you can just set those, go back on the side. We'll see you tomorrow. You're going to be, remember the sub will be here, or sorry, will be here, but you're going to be nice for the new person. It's someone's job interview, be extra good.
So,
Have a great day.
you're not going to have